the traditions of Christians which exist in Asia. So in 1910, most Christians in Asia were Roman Catholics. About half, 52% of all Christians in Asia were Roman Catholics. But by 2010, most Christians in Asia are independents. So I don't have the percentages, but if you look at the percentages, they've almost swapped. So Catholics were 52% of the population in 1910, and they're only 3.9% of the population now. And independents were only 9% of the population in 1910, but are 40% now. So there's been a total swap between Roman Catholics and independents, and that shows you the nature of Asian Christianity right now. If you look at the countries with the most independents in the world, they're all in Asia. It's China, it's the Philippines, it's India. But the story of Asian Christianity is not just one of growth, it's also one of decline. And we heard that actually just in the plenary earlier from our Korean Orthodox brother, that there's been severe persecution of Orthodox Christians around the world. And so looking at these bars here, the purple is the percentage in 2010 and the brown is the percentage in 1910. And you see in all the regions of Asia, there are more Christians, higher percentage of Christians in 2010 than in 1910, except for Western Asia, by a lot, by a huge margin. So that means there was a way higher percentage of Christians in Western Asia in 1910 than in 2010. And so almost every country in Western Asia had a higher percentage of Christians in 1910 than they do now. And so in 1910, Western Asia was 22% Christian, but now it's only 5%. That's it, just 5%. And so this leads me to ecumenism. Oh, there's another graph showing the same thing, but you're probably seeing the numbers already. So thinking about ecumenism, I have redone this slide at least 20 times since I've gotten here. Listening to all the conversations that have been going on and thinking about what are the implications of the numbers for ecumenism in Asia. I was up at 4 a.m. thinking I need to redo that slide. So this is 4 a.m., maybe it's not how this works, but one question I want to ask, and maybe we can think about this together, is what role do independent churches, Pentecostal churches, and evangelical churches, which are the fastest growing expressions of Christianity, play in ecumenical relations? So the traditions that are growing the fastest are the ones that have been historically least likely to participate in the ecumenical movement. So what does that mean? If Asia is becoming more Pentecostal and more evangelical and more independent, and those traditions generally do not participate in discussions like this, that's a major challenge to the ecumenical movement. Another thing I'd like for us to think about is how to support and reach out to these shrinking communities in Western Asia, particularly Orthodox. These are ancient traditions that all of our traditions come from, and they're shrinking, and very few people are talking about it. I think that's a problem, and something that needs to be addressed by a gathering like this. And then one thing that really struck me was on, I believe, Tuesday night, the plenary, talking about ecumenism in the 21st century being a journey into world Christianity. And to me, this means recognition of other traditions and a legitimizing of other traditions and a reaching out for other traditions and being in relationship with other traditions. So thinking about ecumenism as being a journey into world Christianity and embracing the world church in maybe a way in the 20th century that wasn't done maybe a way in the 21st century that wasn't done in the 20th century. So there's a new kind of ecumenism that needs to happen in light of these figures. So these are just some of my initial thoughts, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you about some of your thoughts on what these numbers mean. So thank you for listening to all those numbers.